Hi, my name is Jolina Joe, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of Syntaxa. So at Syntaxa, we create novel microbes to provide a better solution for sustainable agriculture. So many of you may not know, but according to the United Nations, 40% of the crop are lost annually. That amounts to a total staggering amount of $200 billion per year in agricultural loss. And pesticide is a massive market valued at $65 billion with growing TAM. But there are challenges for incumbents. So we're spending so much money on pesticides, but we're still facing significant crop loss. So what has gone wrong? So currently, the majority pesticide on the market are chemical-based, and after decades of heavy use, these chemical-based solutions are facing diminished efficacy because of the evolution of drug resistance. And additionally, legislation increasingly mandates the alternatives to synthetic pesticides because of their well-documented environmental harm and safety considerations. So you really direly need safer and more effective solutions. So that's where Syntaxa come in. So our solution, we provide novel biopesticide solutions that are multimodal and improve in efficacy. Additionally, we delay the onset of resistance to these existing chemical-based solutions. And additionally, we package the active pesticidal particle in a proprietary, non-living organic particle formulation so that it has long-lasting action in the field and also has cost-effective manufacturing. So we provide a multi-potent biopesticide with targeted defense and also an enhanced safety and delivery profile. And to address the market sizing problem, just taking corn as an example, that's an $80.3 billion market in the US alone, and fungicide and insecticide application is a $3.6 billion opportunity. But drawing insights from customer discovery, we realized that we set our eyes on the high-value specialty crop sector. And for example, such as crops as almonds, pistachios, citruses, they're facing dire challenges in their current pest management strategies, and that already totals amount to a $20 billion market value. So our business strategy centers around developing partnerships with industry-leading ag chemical companies. And we want to design and build custom proprietary biopesticide strains with our partners to accelerate market penetration and adoption. So we're looking to raise a $2 million pre-seed round to reach our next value inflection point. And use of the funds will go to optimizing and building a multi-potent biopesticide solution in lab and in greenhouse. And by 2026, we'll be able to roll out to field testing trial of our lead candidate product. And our team comprises of PhD researchers from the Dr. Kai-Heng Wang at Caltech. And we have combined over 60 years of experience in synthetic biology and genomics. And additionally, we are advised by a panel of seasoned advisors to help us with our business development and science strategies. So at Syntaxa, we really believe that we can design life to provide solutions for challenging global problems, and many of which have deep impact on our economy and sustainability. And our vision is to really program microbes to provide a solution to sustainable agriculture. And I invite the audience to join us in our mission. Thank you.
Great presentation. Curious what the what your development or your research looks like so far, and kind of what the variations there would be in this product in terms of efficacy for whether it's different kinds of crops, different kinds of pests, and of course, given that you've got the Caltech connection, curious how you see yourselves going up against ProVV, which different kind of solution for the same problem.
Right. So I'm glad you asked that. So how exactly we do our product, right? So naturally, bacteria have different modes of actions, have anti-pest functionalities encoded in the bacteria itself. So our proprietary technology enables us to mix and match these naturally existing modes of actions into one single solution. And on top of that, to strip away the regulatory concerns, we can program it into a particle formulation. So it's non-living, it doesn't have the host genome. So that's our proprietary procedure of how we create this multi-potent biopesticide. And every single iteration that we go through, we create a new strain that is solely patentable and solely owned by Syntaxa. So the current provisional patent is a method patent, and we'll be having a sort of method composition patent in the future as we create more prototypes. In terms of exactly, so we're sort of a different category, right? So, and unlike a lot of our direct competitors are microbial engineering strategy firms that are on the market that provide biopesticide solutions. But unlike these traditional microbial engineering for biopesticide companies, they only focus on one gene at a time, right? So we've been able to demonstrate that we can merge entire sections of up to half a genome worth of DNA from one bacteria into another. So we are, in a sense, we don't work gene by gene. We work for an entire metabolic pathway. We work for entire pesticidal operons. We can import it and they express, as we've shown here in data.
One question related to this and also to the milestones that you had on raising capital.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you in your ability to actually produce something that can be used commercially? And what's your best estimate for the cost of this solution relative to other alternatives on a per hectare or,
Okay.
Right. So luckily, we are actually working with a database of pre-approved EPA pesticides. So if you take a few of these, 3 to 4 of them, and you converge them into one, you're already at a minimal viable product that is already market ready. You still need to go through the same EPA approval process as you would with any new product. And that alone will take you, depending on the strategy you go through, typically takes around 2 to 3 years. However, right, luckily, you can do your test ahead of time with special permits. So, once you have that data rolling, you're pretty much still market ready. Now, I would say that in the case of the newer generation pesticides that people are trying to push out, we do have the ability to incorporate them into our products as well, such as peptides or siRNA and whatnot. So there's a lot of flexibility in terms of what the technology is capable of doing towards a minimal viable product.
Pricing, cost?
Yes. So for pricing, we are actually at the same target range as traditional biological companies. So that's a target range for the customer of $12 per acre. We're actually looking to reduce costs more because since we're combining many of these products that these farmers are applying, in reality, they get a cost savings by using one solution as opposed to 2 to 3 solutions that they're currently spraying over their produce.
And the last question related to this is, what's your anticipated pest tolerance to whatever you're deploying? Is it fair to assume that you will still need to go through reformulations and whatnot because of increased pest tolerance to your product?
Do you want to answer or? Oh, okay. So, well, it depends on exactly the modes and mechanisms that you're using. There's going to be different pest tolerances. However, I think there's a general standard of the amount of times you can apply a product over crops, and you have to do this in cycles. We would still encourage farmers to follow those regulations, but not because we think the products are going to create a resistance problem. Because one of our sort of selling points is that because you're merging these things into a single formulation, you're kind of delaying that onset of resistance. But we just think that it's good because basically you're sticking to regulations, and that's just important for us to satisfy EPA, FDA regulations, and USDA regulations. Yeah.
And just to expand on that point, it's there is a constant evolutionary arms race between your pest evolving resistance and your new product. So with our sort of pipeline, we can really versatilely and use automation to generate new versions of next generation biopesticides to really combat that evolutionary arms race.
Just to add more real data on that point, our current capacity in lab, we can make 1,000 strains in a week.
So just to clarify on the technology and differentiation, is the differentiation here your delivery platform? So if, in effect, doesn't matter, somebody else can make a biological indication, whatever active ingredient, whatever it is, but you're providing a better way from a delivery perspective. Maybe it's encapsulation technology to delay release or whatever it is. I'm just curious, what do you think is your like the technological moat?
Right, twofold. So one fold is the delivery platform, and the other fold, that's more importantly, is that we have the engineering capability to merge different modes of actions. Because traditional engineering platforms usually only focus on one mode of action. They don't have like multiple modes of actions. And one mode of action or one gene at a time, it's very easy for pests to develop resistance against that one gene. But if you have like a viral cocktail or like a cocktail of solutions to combat that, it's harder for the pest to develop resistance against that.
So basically, in one delivery formulation, you can actually have, like, let's say, multiple actions within
Correct.
one delivery kind of currently,
Yes.
right? And so, like, you can effectively mix it up, right?
Correct.
Like a permutation,
Yes.
type of thing.
Yes.
And so even it's the same formulation, but just different kind of modes of action, that will change it up into, let's say, the next harvest cycle, like, for example.
Exactly. And the other piece is the delivery. Because we're encapsulating in particle formulation, a lot of the troubles in existing formulation is that you're swinging it under the sun, right? They UV degrade, and there's a lot of like loss towards other like runoffs and all that. So if you're encapsulating into a particle formulation, we think that we'll have a better delivery performance on that point.
Does that impact like duration, like of effect? So for example, that's one of the problems, right? Because let's say you water, like for example, sometimes that actually that kind of degrades the impact of one spray of pesticides, right? Is it that the encapsulation can almost do a delay release or actually kind of maintain kind of their active capability longer?
Yes, we definitely believe so. And then there's also like genetic programming we can like sort of program into these particle formulation because it's like a sort of like a butt off of the host genome. So there are microbial genetics modulations we can program into it to have delayed release and effects like that.
And we have like real data in lab that those particles, they are long lasting. Like they have a long shelf life compared to bacteria itself. And they can sit in fridge for like months.
And also room temperature.
Yeah, and also at room temperature for weeks.
Just one quick one. You mentioned long list of companies where there could be partnerships. Is the idea that you would be developing sort of custom formulations for each of those partners, so they would have some differentiation with their product lines, or what's the strategy there?
So the initial like go-to-market strategy is obviously have our own like sort of like proof of concept products to generate enough field data for us to build this partnership and get a lot of the trust built towards these. But in the future, we definitely feel like a co-R&D is the way to go to partner with all these great companies listed here and develop their product pipeline because we really have a very robust engineering platform.
All right, thank you so much, Syntaxa team.